Welcome to Ode to Games. My name is Logan Plant, and joined for the first time in 2021, it's Kevin Vallene. How's it going, Kevin?
Going well. Hopefully this year is better than last.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to all Ode to Games
Happy
fans.
New Year.
And Happy New Year to Zach Rost. What's up, Zach?
Oh, I'm excited for a brand new year of games. I get to start fresh. I can play whatever I want. No more stress of having to complete as many games as possible. In 2020, I failed miserably, so now I just get to start fresh.
Did you have a goal?
I was also doing 50
You were
like
also
Logan
doing
was.
50. No way.
I was just doing it less intensely. And around November, I gave up.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
brutal,
your run
brutal
kind of
goal.
fell apart. We're actually going to go through my journey to 50 games, which is complete. Oh, I did it on December 28th.
Yes.
December, yeah, around there.
Cutting
was
it close.
50th game completed.
Definitely cutting it close.
So I'm going to go through all 50 later on in the show, but we're going to start out with the news. Not too much to get to this week since it is still the holidays, but a couple things we wanted to talk about. First up, there was a Nintendo Direct last month in December where it was all about the Nintendo World theme park in Japan. Miyamoto was in it. He showed off a lot of the stuff. We saw the Mario Kart ride, the shop, things like that. Miyamoto called Mario and Luigi his sons. Like he basically referred to himself as their dad, which the internet had a day with. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see a Nintendo Direct not about a video game. So Kev, you're in Japan. Did you get to check out this Direct?
I did, yeah. I watched it the other day. I was a little bit later on it, but I knew I had to watch it before we wanted to talk about it. And it looks good. The thing that I was drawn to the most for whatever reason was just how the coins looked. I don't know why, but the coins looked so good when they were spinning around. It looked perfect. Just like the set pieces that you have around with all the moving parts, like the Thwomps coming around, the Goomba tower walking around, the Koopas and the coins. Like I was just really surprised at how those looked straight out of a game. Like even like the shadows and everything, it looked entirely on point. The other thing that I was just like wondering as I was watching this was that one of the main things that they were showing off was the interactivity of some of these places, like hitting the blocks and getting coins with your little like wristband. And I was just like, with the amount of people in that park, how's that gonna work?
10 people hitting a block at the same time?
Well, I mean, like, is there gonna be a line or like it's a cool idea? I really like the idea of like hitting the blocks and like there's little puzzles too. So like there was one thing where you had to use the the POW blocks, and you had to hit them at the right point so that something would shoot up through a pipe and you would get the coins. But it's just like, am I gonna be waiting like behind all these people so that they'll be like hitting the blocks and stuff? I was just kind of curious because I know that especially early on, the park is gonna be full. Despite everything that's going on, I'm sure it will still be jam packed with people. So I was just kind of wondering how that's all going to work when the park is actually open and it's not just Miyamoto going around and hitting the blocks. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how it's all going to work.
That was a concern I saw online too. Like, am I expected to have 2 hours of my day spent in line waiting to hit this block?
Yeah.
And that's just not really realistic when theme parks are so expensive to get into in the first place. People are going to want to spend their time doing that. So maybe there won't be a line. Maybe it's just like if you walk by it and see there's no one there, just boop. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out as well. Zach, did you catch anything from the theme park presentation?
Yeah, I saw some of it. It looked very good. I'm definitely excited. It made me sad because I wanted to go there, but just knowing that it's going to be a while before we get there and it will be jam-packed with people, it just lessens my excitement. But from what I did see, it looks very clean. I don't know how clean they're going to be able to keep it. I'm sure things will get, dirtier as time goes on, but I hope they maintain that level of like crisp video game graphics in real life.
Good. Yeah.
It could be trippy. It's like being in a Mario game.
It looks
Logan's
amazing.
dream right there.
I'm super excited to go and check it out at some point. And then, of course, there's also one that is far less along in Florida that will also open sometime in the 2020s. But yeah, I thought it looked really cool. It was just fun to see Miyamoto front and center again, because that doesn't really happen all the time anymore. He's not nearly as hands-on with game development as he was in the Wii era and before. He doesn't do as much of that anymore. So to see what he's been working on the last couple of years was also just really cool, is to have him as a presenter. He also had a really good interview this week that I read, where he kind of talked about his philosophy of game design and So yeah, it was really cool as well. So just cool to see more of him because I feel like he's kind of been behind the scenes more recently at Nintendo.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was nice. He had a lot of charisma there. It was fun watching him run around. And yeah, the jokes with Mario and Luigi were nice.
Yeah.
And just little extra touches, like when he went into the underground section, and then there was a part where the blocks would get bigger because you were turning into like mini Mario, and just those little touches are really cool. And of course, we didn't really see even much in terms of rides, just the Mario Kart ride at the end, which was just like a sneak peek. So some of the things that I'm most excited about, how the rides work, we haven't even seen yet. So there's still a lot to figure out once this park opens in February.
Which I think is good because the rides are something you don't really want to see the entirety of before you go on it yourself. That's something you don't necessarily want to know the details of. You do, Zach?
I have to judge the ride thoroughly because I'm very scared of roller coasters. So I have to like determine the level of how scared I will be on this ride, and then
like crazy
manage
roller
the
coasters
courage.
in Mario.
Can't do. It's rare that I find something that I'm even willing to do. So maybe I'll go on some of the lighter rides. Will you guys tackle some of the bigger rides, like whatever Bowser's Castle roller coaster crap
like
is going on?
It's like a VR type thing.
Yeah, and then I'll be hitting blocks on the ground by myself. It'll be a great
waiting in line, hitting the blocks over and over. Give me more coins.
I can do it. I'll collect the coins while you guys do all the fun stuff. So I'll have the job. But
just do
I think we got to dress up, right, as Nintendo characters. I'm gonna be Waluigi, obviously, and then you can be
I'll
Mario,
be Knuckles.
Logan, and then you can be Knuckles, and then you'll get booed out of the park, and then Logan and I will have a great time. Which makes it more realistic. We'll be in the video game. Be a good time.
I'll be a Boo. I'll be a ghost.
There you go.
I dressed up as Boo for Halloween when I was like 7 years old.
That's cute.
There we go. You can reuse that. I'm sure it'll still fit.
Do you have any pictures?
Yeah, I do somewhere.
That's Twitter profile picture worthy right there.
Probably for next October. But excited about Super Nintendo World. That was a pretty cool presentation. And yeah, the park opens this year. Let's move on to the only other story we're going to talk about, and that is Stardew Valley Update 1.5 is out on PCs, and it's coming to consoles later in 2021. Kevin, another big update for one of your favorite games. Why don't you walk us through the details of this one?
Yeah, so he's been hyping, Concerned Ape has been hyping this up as the biggest update, which I didn't think was possible considering the multiplayer update exists. And that was groundbreaking when that came out. But looking at the list of new stuff, looking at it without spoilers, I'm sure that other places have listed the exact changes and new items. But here is just kind of the overview so you're not spoiled. One of the biggest one that we knew early on was split screen multiplayer, which is super cool. You don't have to play it online to do multiplayer. You can do it with family or friends at home. So that's a cool addition. There's a beach farm, so a new farm type added in with new challenges. Obviously, you have more spots to fish, and I think that you have a way to grow things on. You can grow things on sand, but you can't use sprinklers on the sand. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic there. New advanced game options. So the one thing that I thought was interesting was that you can remix the community center bundles. So if you've played the game so many times and you know exactly what all of the bundles are, you can remix that so that it's a new experience to play and new items to get. Because I know that a lot of people have basically a system set down of when you need to get everything by to get it done in the first year. So it'll be fun for people to be able to remix the bundles so that, you have a new way to play. And then a list of just other general items. You've got new people, new goals, new items, a new type of quest. You've got the new farm layout, new character events, a new community upgrade, more house renovations. Ducks can swim, which, cool. That's there.
Why couldn't they before?
I don't know, but they learned how to swim in this recent update.
Good for them.
You can sit in chairs, which I know people are kind of excited about. You can move your bed. There's fish tanks, new furniture items, new secrets, 9 new music tracks, and I'm sure a bunch more stuff. So that's just a general overview. I'm sure that you can find the actual items online. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but me and some friends are going to hop back in. We haven't decided if we're going to start a new farm or not. We probably will. We may try the new beach farm type out and see how that plays. But I am just consistently impressed with how much new stuff this game gets and just how how big these updates are. It's not just like little things like, oh, here's a new fruit or something. It's like, hey, I've got a bunch of new ideas. The multiplayer support is super cool, and I'm also looking forward to when it comes to consoles in 2021. But just consistently impressed with all this new stuff, and that it's free. Every single one of these updates beyond the base game is free.
Stardew Valley is such a good value.
Yeah, and it's always on sale.
Yep.
So
It
it
is.
up.
Yeah.
New
Definitely
content is
worth
out.
picking it up.
Yeah.
Support Concerned Ape.
Zach, are you gonna hop back in?
Yeah, at some point. I've still got that. I think my friends and I are probably going to start a new farm. It's been a while since we played it last, but we talk about it sometimes of going back into it. I'm excited with all this new stuff coming, especially since we play it on PC and the update's coming to PC very soon. I think
It's out.
It's out. It's out already. So yeah, as soon as we hop back in, we'll have so much new stuff to do. But I'll just be responsible for getting the bundles like I was last time.
Well, if you remix the bundles, it'll be completely different.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Because, well, I never even finished it last time. There was like a certain, I think I did all but one. I don't remember. I think it was like the friendship bundle where the prizes was all the friends. That was the hardest one for me. I couldn't get them all. But maybe shuffling around will make it easier.
Yeah. And then me and Logan,
I'm
sure that when it comes to Switch, we'll be hopping back in.
Yeah,
at some point.
We have to finish our farm.
I can't believe you guys never played it with me. Like, you didn't even ask if I wanted to play it.
At the time, I believe you were busy playing it with your other group of friends. So
that sounds all right. I probably declined the offer. I don't remember. It's fine.
But I'm very much looking forward to hopping back in. Every time that I think I'm done with it for a while, he pulls out a new update or new items and new content to get me coming back in.
Is this the last update? Is there more after this?
No. So at the end of the blog post, he says next year there will be more Stardew Valley related announcements and possibly beyond to look forward to.
Movie spinoff. So that's exciting.
Dear God, no thanks. But I know that
from the creators of Monster Hunter, Stardew Valley,
and the Resident Evil movies,
and the Mortal Kombat from the 90s.
But I know that he was talking in the past about making a new game in the Stardew Valley universe, but not necessarily Stardew Valley. So maybe that's it, or maybe it is a new Stardew Valley or more new content. We don't know yet. But
if this guy's working on a new game on top of all this other stuff,
you never know, man. He's incredibly dedicated.
He could do it.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, all Stardew Valley players, either you're playing it now or get hyped to hop back in.
Yeah, exciting stuff. But I think that's all we have for news.
I want to stop for a second. Kevin, it froze for a second, and then your video to audio on my end has been messed up ever since that moment. So I don't know if it's like that on the OBS recording as well.
Nope.
Or if mine is messed up.
He's fine for me. I'll say that.
Okay. Am I fine for you?
Yeah, you're fine. You're perfect.
Okay.
Your audio's been better this week.
Cool.
Yeah, you haven't cut out once.
There was a little cut out earlier, but it was super short, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's only happened once, so we fingers crossed it's fine.
All right, then I'll bring it back in and toss it over to Zachary Rost. All right, and those are our only two stories for the week. Nintendo World Direct and Stardew Valley, big update. And now we're going to send things over to Zach for his second segment of all time. First
ever
one of the
segment.
Year.
It's not a big responsibility. I'm just bringing in the games that we've been playing since we last talked to you last week.
We didn't even talk about it last week. It's been a couple weeks. Games that we
my God, it's been a couple weeks, and a lot has been happening. I'm not going to lie. We will... This is the segment where we are going over Logan's 50 games beaten this year. So we will save him for the end. We will get to that. First, Kevin and I, we got Yakuza to talk about. We'll start with Kevin, and then we'll segue into me, who has almost caught up with Kevin in terms of Yakuza story.
Jeez.
I'm on chapter 12. I just
got to
the part where there's the gap in levels.
You are a monster. What? How?
So we'll be able to talk. We'll be able to talk about a lot of similar. You know what? Just what have you been up to in terms of Yakuza?
So basically, I have been at about the same point that I was at last week because I had gotten to this point. I had gotten to the start of chapter 12, and I was like, all right. From what I've been hearing online, this is the point where the level jump happens, and boy, does it happen! Because so in this chapter, it also introduces kind of like a battle. It's not a tower, but basically a battle tower where you can go in, do a set of battles. You do it in sets of 5. You get items.
The checkpoints. I love the checkpoints.
Yeah, so you get checkpoints after each 5 battles. There's a regular item that you get at the end of each fight, and then there's a second stipulation for an extra prize that I found out you can also get again. So if you go back in, you can get the extra prize again. So that is introduced in the chapter. And the recommendation that I saw online was go down there, do some fights, level up, and then you go and do the story stuff because there's a gnarly level jump. So I entered the chapter at about level 34, I think, for my characters.
Me too. Maybe a little 33, 34, yeah.
Yeah, it varied based on characters, but it was around there. And it's like, all right, I'll go and do some of the battle stuff. I think I went through two sets to get to the checkpoint to the 11th battle or something, and did a couple of extra things. And I was up to about 37, and I was like, all right, let's see how this is. I want to see firsthand how that level jump is. So I go do the story stuff. You go. You do a sneaking section, and then you do one fight with some random goons, and then you get to boss fights, and the boss is level 50, and he annihilated me. He destroyed me. And he also had a move where he could clone himself into 4 or 5 of him, and they were just beating me up and just destroying me. So I have gone back. I am doing some more grinding. I'm up to level 40 or 41. But I kind of took a break from it because I was just grinding. I was like, it's kind of annoying because you have to grind for the levels, and you kind of have to grind for better equipment too. So I also grinded out some more money by doing the side content, the business thing. I just went in there and was just mashing through the days because I had it all set up. Just mash through the days, give everyone promotions or whatever, or give them the things to make them happy, and then make them happy meeting over and over and over again, so I could upgrade the workshop to get more to get the ability to craft better items. So yeah, when people were talking about the level spike in chapter 12, they were not lying. It is brutal.
Well, when you brought it up,
I did all the side quests too. I've done every single sub story.
Wait, there's 52 of them, right?
Well, I've done every single one that's unlocked to me.
Okay,
and that's
over
what I thought,
40. Because I didn't have some. I only did 30 something, but I couldn't find any more to do.
Oh.
Which was, I might have just, because they cycle sometimes between day and night, so I might have missed some.
Yeah, so that could have been the thing. But yeah, I've done every single one that's been open to me. I've done a bunch of the side stuff, and I still entered in hideously underleveled.
When you talked about it last time, I thought you said chapter 13, so it caught me off guard when it happened. I was like, oh crap, it happens now? And then I got absolutely destroyed, and then I turned it off because I got mad.
Zach, have you talked about the game at all on the show? I can't.
A little bit.
Yeah, I had started it the last time we talked about what we had been playing. I'd only played it for a couple hours. I hadn't really got into the combat system a whole lot because it was pretty basic when it starts, but it really gets fleshed out once you have the option to change up jobs and you start collecting party members. The party, you can get up to 7 people by the end of the game, and there's about a dozen jobs to choose from, and you can choose. People have some unique jobs, and
each character has 1 or 2 unique jobs, and then based on if they're male or female, they have their own sets of jobs.
And I think the females get a lot less job options.
They do, which
from what I've seen.
So stupid.
It is kind of stupid, but I've got a delegated healer, so that's good. I always like having a dedicated healer.
Gotta have it when the bosses come in and just rinse you.
Yeah, but they were the fight that's at level 50. They were just constantly one-shotting my healer, which is never fun.
Oh man!
So I would have to res my healer, and then they would just get one shot again, and it was just a bad cycle that I would get trapped into. But I absolutely love this game. It is all I have been playing. I haven't been doing anything else. That's how I've been able to put so much time and effort into it. And you just get absorbed into the Yakuza stories. And I've been doing a lot of the side content. The side stories are always good in the Yakuza games. I never give them too much attention, but I really wanted to dive into the side content in this one. Because I hadn't in a while, and it's been a while since I played a Yakuza game, so I was really feeling it. And I really love Yokohama. It's really fresh.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a nice new location. I hate how common the
Uh-huh.
random encounters are.
Had
I
those-
walk around a corner, every corner there's a new random encounter. It's like an actual JRPG.
You have
It
those
is
moments
so
where
annoying.
where you run into a fight, you do the fight, and then as soon as you get out of the fight, the direction that you're going in, another group is spawned in.
Yep. So the smart way to go about it is just taking taxis everywhere
Yep.
to avoid these
Taxis are huge.
constant random encounters, or just like weaving around them on sides. It's like cutting corners. It's one of my I don't have a lot of complaints about this game. I love this.
We've talked about it before, but I think a lot of the issues that Yakuza Like a Dragon has is just that it's the first JRPG style that they've done, and I feel like
it's a little rough around the edges,
Right,
but it's a great start.
With the encounters in the open world and the level jumps and the grinding that you have to do. I feel like those are some things that they can really smooth out for the next game if they do decide to stick with.
Yeah, the level jump just sounds insane.
It's really gnarly.
Especially where Kevin is taking his time. He should be good for this level jump, but he's not. So that sounds really, really unappealing. If you know, especially if you guys aren't Yakuza super fans, like a lot of people are picking this series up for the first time with Like a Dragon, especially since it's on Xbox. It was a launch title, and I can see a lot of people getting to that point and just saying, "Nah, I'm moving on to something else now."
Yeah, I wish they gave you the option to do the battle tower a little bit earlier, because as it is now, it introduces it to you right before. The
I guess they assume that you're going to give it a big go.
I guess
beforehand, or maybe they expect you to get rinsed, so you go back to it.
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure.
It's weird. I guess you have the option. It gives you the option to do some of those. You go underground in Yokohama and do the dungeon thing, but I never did that because I went in there once and thought it was really boring. Like just the area was. So I guess
when they forced you to do it for the story mission, I was already sick of it.
Yeah,
it took forever.
It did.
Yeah,
the game's got some problems. That level jump is crazy. Like again, I did everything, and
I hope it is the only level jump.
I can't.
Yeah,
I really hope it is. Like that would be really annoying if I had to go
this
back
boss
and do
level 50, the next boss level 70, next room, you never know.
Well, and so I don't want to give away who it is, but it gives you two characters that you fight, two bosses, and you only
one
fight
of them comes
one at
into
a time.
the middle of the fight. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even get to that point.
So in the middle of the fight, the second boss just rolls in. Once the first boss is at half health.
Oh, jeez, that's brutal.
Yeah, so you get the first boss down to half health, and you kill all the clones, and the second boss just rolls in. And he's like, "I guess I gotta help out. Like, what's
You're
up?"
Like, no, you don't.
And then he hits
dying.
even harder. He hits even harder. It is insane.
I guess
I could not do it.
That's the problem that you run into when you swap from a JRPG to a JRPG system from the brawler system. Because with the brawler system, you could be underleveled and you could get destroyed. But if you just got better at the game systems and like dodging and things, you could theoretically beat any fight. Even if they one-shot you, you could theoretically do it. Here, it's just not possible. Like,
you can't do that in a game of numbers like a JRPG.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
There's a block system that reduces damage somewhat. It's a quick time event. Every time right before they hit you, if you hit circle, you get a perfect block. It reduces the damage, but
sometimes it only does so much, though.
It doesn't do a whole lot, and when they hit you multiple times in a round, it's very hard to like anticipate. So it's
and the other thing that can get kind of frustrating is that if Kasuga gets knocked out, it's over.
Yeah,
regardless.
So the main character goes down. You can't revive him. It's
really dumb. I don't get that system.
Yeah.
Again, it's another one that I think they could iron out for the next game, but it is really frustrating. I had that happen earlier where I just got unlucky and they just the enemy decided to aggro on Kasuga only and just destroyed him. And it was like sometimes you really have to change your strategy and just be like, oh, Kasuga got hit once, but I don't know what's going to happen here, so I'm just going to have to heal him anyways, even though
Kevin,
I don't think it'll be a problem, but it could be.
I have a technical question. There's something I haven't figured out how to do, and I think you can do it. Can you, if you're in the middle of a fight, Can you
Yep.
swap out non-current party members
Yes.
with your side team? You can?
Yes,
I
because
don't know how to do that.
I've never done it because I've never had the need to.
I've
But I know
also
that
never
you
done
can
it, but I also don't know
because
how.
in the battle tower, some of the stipulations are don't change
Don't,
out your
that's
party members.
what made me think it.
Yeah.
Like I saw that and I was like,
Yeah.
I can change out my party
can.
members because
You can.
mid-fight, because every time, because there's a tag out button and it's like, but that swaps the positions of your current fight members. So like say someone's on the right side of the battlefield, someone's on the left side of the battlefield, you can swap them because it doesn't give you the option to tag out with someone who's not in your party.
Huh.
So I don't know how
there's
to
a
do
way
it.
to do it. There is a way
Yeah,
because the
exactly.
game has told me not to do it in certain fights.
So eventually I will figure out how to do it.
I mean, that would be most useful if you found a weakness or
if someone gets knocked out and you don't want to bother reviving them.
Oh, could you do that for a
Like, you
knocked
could-
out party member?
I don't know. So
That'd be
I got to
helpful.
look into it. Yeah.
You're knocked out.
'Cause-
Get out of here. Like, you're not useful.
Yeah.
Anyways.
In some games, like if someone gets knocked out, the other person just automatically comes in, and I like that. But
Yeah, not here. Yeah, love the
Whatever.
game. Man, I really wish that the level grind was not that bad because I've spent some time in the battle tower. I've gone through 4 sets of them. I'm on like the 20th floor, and I'm still only about 40 or 41. And
Wow,
I don't think I want to go into that fight lower than 45. Like that
No.
would still be lower than them, but I feel like throughout the entire game I've been doing fights at a lower level. Like I'm usually like 2 or 3 levels below the boss. And I've been fine.
Yeah.
And then here they're just like, nope, sorry. So yeah, it's a little bit frustrating because the rest of the game is so good, and then it just has these little problems that I'm sure were just little oversights from the change from brawler to JRPG. Any other thoughts, Zach, from all of your time blowing through the game? Any other?
I'm excited to do the Dragon Card stuff. I only did the side quest for that. I haven't actually delved into any of the cups.
Yeah.
I had fun doing the side quest for that. I've done some of the mini games. I just did golf for the first time.
I still haven't done golf.
Golf is yeah, because I don't know if it's in Yokohama. It's in a different area.
It is.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah,
can find
it's
it. I
just
found
on-
the batting cages in Yokohama.
Yeah, it's near the batting cages actually. The batting cages are up in the
Okay.
corner, and then the golf thing is like on the side, like right next to it. So yeah, it's there.
But so far I'm absolutely loving it. Feels good to be back into a Yakuza. I like the story so far. I'm excited to see. I love the party members. I think
They're great.
it's one of the best parts about JRPGs is having likable party members, and I think they are very dynamic and they work well together. And it really just fits into the Yakuza, brand of, how they interact and how the story goes with them all included and how they all have their own motivations in the story. So I just like it a lot, and I'm excited to play more of it. I'm excited to beat it tonight. Just kidding.
Tonight, God. So
Nah.
you're just gonna spend another like 8 hours grinding, and then
God.
brutal. Last
There's like
question.
15 chapters, so we got a few more chapters.
There's a couple more left. Last question before
Yeah.
we move on. Favorite sub story? I know you asked me.
Oh, which one did you say? Was it
Forget
the
Me Not?
Forget Me Not? Okay,
Forget Me Not.
that's what I thought, and then it happened. I was like, this is a weird sub story.
Yeah.
My favorite sub story is I forgot what it's called, but it's the Ono Michio one.
Oh, I do love that one.
The second one.
Yeah, that one was great too.
Yep, I love Ono Michio. He is a mascot from earlier Yakuza game.
From Yakuza 6.
Brought back. He's like an orange, but something else with ramen on his head, and he's cute.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't think I had gotten
Yep.
to that point yet when I talked about my favorites. That one's also really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's all you've been playing, huh, Zach?
Yep, that is all I have been playing, which makes sense because I put about 40 hours into it. So,
Dear God.
um,
I don't. You are ridiculous. I was
it's
not
the holiday
expecting you to be
season.
like,
It's not a
"Hey,
lot's going
I'm done
on.
with everything.
Time for Yakuza.
Oh,
It's the
man.
perfect time of the season. Probably not going to add it to my list of games beaten this year, but it'll
That'd be-
probably be my first game beaten of 2021. So
Yeah.
get excited for that. But enough about us.
I
It
still
is
have one more
time
game.
for-
I have one more game.
Oh,
We
never
gotta
mind.
start putting a Yakuza timer on this. That was 15 minutes for like
I'm-
the third or fourth week in a row. My
This is
goodness.
it's a meaty game.
It is.
There's a
All
lot
right.
to talk about. Every
I
time
will
we
get
play,
through.
there's something new.
I'll get through my other thing quickly here before we get to Logan. Because the grind was so gnarly and I wanted something else, I started up Spiritfarer. I picked it up on sale.
Nice.
That game is
On
gorgeous.
Switch, right?
Yes, I picked it up on Switch. The game is absolutely gorgeous. I love the art style, just the animations of everything. are super pretty. The music is really relaxing. It's just a relaxing game in general. I played it for probably about 2 hours, and it's just constantly giving me things to do of just sailing around and trying to find the materials. You get quests constantly from the people who are on your ship to go to all these different places, either gather materials or like go to the shop or go through this storm. I haven't gotten too far into it yet, but it is just super relaxing. Building up your ship is really fun. It just gives you busy work as you're going along, you know, like tending to your little fields and farms and things. And then I just really like the characters and like giving them food and giving them hugs every day and just talking to them. They always have something interesting to say, and I'm looking forward to the really heartfelt moments because I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't lost any of the people on my ship yet because it hasn't been long enough. But from what I've played, it's absolutely gorgeous, really relaxing, and like I was expecting, it is a game that is right up my alley. So
yeah,
it'll be one that I'm going to be playing in tandem with Like a Dragon for the time being, Like a Dragon and Spiritfarer.
It's good to have a game on the Switch and a game on the PlayStation going at the same time.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Game on the Xbox.
Game on the Xbox. Yeah, I'll crack out my 360.
Yep.
Microsoft Flight Simulator? Well, that's not on Xbox yet.
Is it not?
One day.
It's coming out.
No, it's
soon.
only on PC right now. Yeah.
It'll be coming to Series X.
Yeah.
All right, so enough about Yakuza and a little bit about Spiritfarer. 50 games, huh, Logan? 50 games.
That's right. 50 games. I did it. I didn't think it was possible. But
you're not going to be able to talk about a lot for these games. Just gotta breeze through them. We don't got a lot of time.
I'm going to share one sentence for each one. Hey, if you guys
Perfect.
could talk about one game for 15 minutes, I can talk about 50.
Hey, we got our
minutes,
time slot, which means you lose time. So
all right. Well, I'd like to give a 1 second or a 1 sentence review of each of these.
one sentence is perfect. That's 50 sentences.
Here we go. And then the last game I beat this year, I have more to talk about. The ones that I haven't talked about on this show at all.
Okay.
Life is Strange 2, I kicked off the year. Great game. Zach's also played it. I actually like this one more than the original. Zach, is that a blasphemous statement?
All right, that was 4 sentences.
Oops.
It's better than the first one. I will say that much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This one bleeded into January. It was my game of the year 2019. Zach is going to play it this year. Yep. I love it. It's one of my favorite Star Wars things ever, especially after how horrible the last Star Wars movie was. Great game. To the Moon. Wanted to play this one for years. I really had high hopes. It didn't quite hit as much as I wanted it to, but it hit enough that I'm going to play Finding Paradise when it does come to Switch. Twilight Princess HD. Beat this one with Zach. I played this one before. It was a replay. I really enjoyed it. It drags a little more in the first half than I remembered from when I was a kid, but the second half of the game is one of the best endings to a Zelda game there is. Groundhog Day, Like Father, Like Son VR. A canonical sequel to the Bill Murray movie.
What in the world?
Zach and I played this one together. Bonkers game. Pretty fun. Does some cool stuff with VR, but has some sections that are just garbage, like Zach having to dance and he wasn't doing well enough in the dance, so he had to do it, or me having to chisel this statue over and over. That one was brutal, but a good game overall. Game number 6, No More Heroes. I played that one with Zach. And speaking of just awful grinds, that one has a terrible grind for money near the end that inhibits an otherwise great game.
But we found a perfect system.
We did. We totally cheated it. And I have not gone back to confirm if that cheat is viable in the Switch version, the port. I don't know if they fixed that or not.
Hopefully they didn't.
But...
Yeah, the game is disgusting without it. And number 2, we also did the same game over and over and over to grind money. But we'll get to number 2 in just a second. Star Fox Zero, I also played with Zach. Zach and I went ham.
It was a big February, yeah.
Yeah, it's because Twilight Princess, Groundhog Day, No More Heroes, Star Fox Zero, Uncharted 4, and No More Heroes 2, we all played together.
What a weird list.
Yes,
very
definitely a weird list.
Yeah. Star Fox Zero, I actually kind of liked how the multiplayer worked. That game is awful single player where you're aiming in the cockpit with the gamepad and steering the ship on the TV, but the multiplayer splits those two duties, and I think I liked it more than Zach did. Zach?
It was my introduction into the Star Fox franchise. I wasn't a huge fan. I was typically we swapped off on the shooting and the driving. I think I was more a
We
fan of
switched
the
every
driving
mission.
than the shooting. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it had its moments. It wasn't a particularly long game. We did it in
No,
one sitting,
2 sessions. Yeah, one or
two
two. Yeah.
sessions. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
it was fine for what it was. I don't know if I'll go back to the Star Fox franchise ever unless Logan wants to play Star Fox Guard, maybe. I don't know.
Starbucks card.
I do. I do want to play
Okay.
Star Fox Card. Yeah. But Star Fox, it was fine. Star Fox 64 is better, and that franchise is constantly trying to recapture what makes Star Fox 64 good, and it hasn't been able to do so as of yet. So, Sonic Lost World 3DS is a horrible
Oh my god.
game. It is so bad. Some of the levels are like unleashed length. They take 20 minutes plus to finish, and you're using these wisp powers that are so unintuitive. I put this game down for 6 years. That is how much I did not like it. And finally came back and plowed through to the end. The final fight against Eggman is a good one, though. It's a memorable fight against Eggman. I beat Uncharted 4 twice this year.
Did you
It's
count it
still
twice on
amazing.
both? Did you count it twice?
No,
Okay.
it's only counted once.
Yeah.
But I beat it twice this year, and it is great. You guys know how great Uncharted 4 is. Still the best one. Judgment, I went back and finished that off the backlog. And basically from the point I picked it up, the story was starting to pick up a lot, and I just plowed through to the end on the story missions and really, really loved that game and its characters and hope it gets a sequel. No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. Zach, which No More Heroes did you like more?
Oh, that is a difficult question. I liked them both for what they were. I feel like the first one was a little more unique. It was a fresher feeling. The 100, that's
Pick one,
a
flip a
hard one.
coin.
I'd have to think
Flip a
about
coin.
it. I'll first one.
First one.
I think the first one's better too. The
first
grind
one's
is
better, yeah.
worse, but I
Yeah.
think the bosses are better in number one.
Yeah. Mhm.
Overall. Yeah, but
The
we're very
scary
excited for
baseball
3.
girl was in 2, right?
Oh my god, I think so. Yeah, she was horrible.
That's terrifying.
Games we abandoned this year. Zach and I tried to play Travis Strikes Again, and it was not very fun.
Yep.
So we put that down pretty quickly. But we're ready for No More Heroes 3. Uncharted 1, liked it more than I did the first time, but it is still the worst one. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Really liked all the story content that was there. Like I think we talked about last week
Yeah.
on the Odies, getting to go through and actually finish your island and get KK Slider and have the credits roll was really great. Totally abandoned that game. Have
Yep.
either of you gone back since it snowed on your island?
I did. Yeah.
Nope.
Because a friend, we were just like, hey, let's
Check out
play a
the new
game,
stuff.
and then the only game that we really had that we could play together was Animal Crossing, so we just hopped back in. Looks nice. I like the look of the snow. One weird thing about that, I don't want to get too off of this. The snowballs disappear when you play multiplayer. So like you can't make snowmen together. We're like, hey, there's snowballs here. Let's go make it. And then we were running around like, where did they go? They were here. And then as soon as they left, the snowballs came back. Multiplayer in that game is bizarre.
Yep.
It is very bizarre. I cannot believe it was nominated for Best Multiplayer
Yeah.
at the Game Awards. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I loved it. It's very nostalgic for the start of like the spring when we were starting to stay home a lot more. Like I plowed through that game in a couple of weeks, and it was a blast. Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. The ranking on those has flipped. I used to be a weirdo who liked Uncharted 3 more, but playing them back to back again, 2 is just better, even though 3 has the better set pieces, but 2 is a much better whole. Super Mario Galaxy, I finished that for the first time this year.
Ooh, yeah.
Kevin, you also went back to it.
I did.
I liked it a lot. I still like Galaxy 2 more. Any thought you want to throw in returning to Galaxy years later?
I had more fun with it than I remember, and I think that's because of the nostalgia, because I remember playing that a lot as a kid, and then just going back and playing through those levels again, and playing through some of the stuff that I didn't play through, because I never 100%ed it. It was really fun to go back, and that thing made the jump to HD so well. That game,
Yeah,
playing it on the
great
collection,
in the All-Stars.
it looks absolutely gorgeous, and the music, oh, so good.
In classic Logan Plant fashion, I actually did it a number of times this year. I played a game directly before it was brought to modern console. Galaxy, both No More Heroes. Yeah, but I
Step
played
away with
Galaxy
that.
on Wii. I do. I willed the 3D collection into life. Final Fantasy VII, the original, plowed through with all cheats on just to get to the end to see the whole story. It was fine. I think the writing is actually really bad because the translation is not very good at all. Yeah, the localization is awful. But so the remake is much better in my opinion. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I love this game. It is one of my favorite 3D Marios. and it's a shame it wasn't included in the collection
So
because it
stupid.
is great.
So dumb.
Murder by Numbers, that is the Picross Ace Attorney game. It is pretty good story, not nearly as crazy, twisty, and turny as the Ace Attorney games. And the puzzles do wear on by the end, but overall I recommend it for either Ace Attorney fans or Picross fans because it was a lot of fun. It was the first Picross game I'd ever played, and I really enjoyed it. Fire Emblem Three Houses, went back and finished that. Zach, did you beat that was that this year?
Yeah, I beat that in February.
That February was a big month for you.
It was a big month for me.
It's always a big month for Zach. God.
Yep.
The shortest month.
Yeah.
The shortest month somehow beat the most games.
Made it count.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I liked Three Houses. I am not as wild about it as a lot of people are. I do not think it's the best Fire Emblem. I think the battle design is not nearly as difficult or creative as the Fire Emblems on the 3DS. I think the actual act of fighting in those games is more fun and strategic. In Three Houses, it's very simple because more of the focus is on the school stuff and the relationship building with your students. So I look forward to a sequel to Three Houses that hopefully improves the battle side of things, which almost felt like an afterthought. There's my very long sentence summing up my feelings on Three Houses. Also, the story.
More.
Man, they're the routes.
It's by far my favorite Fire Emblem.
Because it's the only one you've ever played.
Ah, dang it. He caught me.
Yeah.
Saw through me.
Also, the story, so many of the routes have really convoluted endings. And so I'm glad that the route I took actually had a pretty good ending. Let's keep rolling right through this list.
We're back at it.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, big surprise for me. One of my favorite games from childhood. I love Blue Rescue Team and really liked the remake. I beat it with Kevin simultaneously. We were on Skype and we did the last mission at the same time, and I really liked that game. Really liked the soundtrack. I loved the new watercolor art style. Kevin, your sentence on Rescue Team DX in this 50 game wrap up.
I'm glad that I finally beat this game after putting it down as a kid and then subsequently losing my copy. I don't have it anymore, and I do also really like the art style and music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game was really, really fun. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I got 3 stars on every cup in the Grand Prix, which we discussed at the time counts as a game finish.
Recall discussing that?
We did.
Was I included
We've had
in
a couple of discussions
on
this. There was one.
Yes.
There was one about like DLC too.
All right. I guess I would have been outvoted on that one if I had been consulted.
I think it counts. I also beat every staff ghost in the game. I beat everything you can in Mario
totally
Kart 8.
All right. If a game, if a game doesn't have credits, pretty much
it does have credits 100%. When you do that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It has credits?
Yeah.
Well, then that's
you get credits
no matter what. But if you 100% a game that doesn't have credits, it still counts.
I would assume most.
Like if I had gotten the Fall Guys Platinum, we would have counted.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Fall Guys, yeah.
What about if I just open up the credits from the main menu? Sometimes games have that.
Oh, that counts.
Woo, beat the game. Done.
Yeah. But what I considered beating that was I got the gold hang glider, the gold wheels, and the gold cart, which you have to do a bunch of stuff to get.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
so
that's fine.
That one, it counts. Ocarina of Time did my yearly playthrough in one day. Have nothing new to say there. Moving out, one of my bigger disappointments that I played this year, Overcooked, but moving furniture just did not translate very well. So that one was a disappointment, and I would recommend skipping it and just play Overcooked, which Kevin recently bought.
I did.
I finished The Last of Us and Left Behind. That's only counted as one entry. Really, really loved it as usual. And then I beat The Last of Us Part 2 twice, which I love even more. We've talked about that game enough. I discovered F-Zero this year. This game's kind of similar to Mario Kart in that it doesn't have really a true story that you finish, but I beat every Grand Prix in the game on the hardest difficulty for F-Zero and F-Zero Maximum Velocity.
Taking a lot of liberties with this list, I guess.
You beat 50 games, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
It counts. It absolutely counts.
I don't know. We're discovering that maybe you didn't beat 50 of the games this year.
Okay, if you subtract F-Zero, F-Zero Max Velocity, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then count The Last of Us 2 twice, and Uncharted 4 twice, and Left Behind, and boom, they're all replaced.
All right. I don't know if I would do that, but whatever makes you feel better.
Fine, then combine them all together to do some weird mishmash of, this was only half a game. Whatever, it counts.
All right.
50 games, we made it. Love F-Zero. Really sad that I discovered a franchise that's probably dead forever. So that was kind of disappointing.
The thing doesn't seem to be coming back.
No. We're nearing the end of this thing. We got probably probably 3/5 of the way done. I think we're through 30. Far Cry 5. Zach and I returned to Hope County, Montana.
I can't believe we returned to it.
I can't either. You bought it again.
I
so
did.
I do it.
It's dedication.
Wanted to play it.
Love the game so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of fun with it, just blasting through to the end. Flying planes is a lot of fun. We didn't dig too deep into anything, but I think Far Cry is a pretty shallow game. So I think that's okay.
I will never forgive that game for me having to buy it on eBay for like $20, and then it goes on sale the next day for $10 on the
It's the deal
on
of the week.
PlayStation. Sorry, it's insane.
Mm-hmm. For the first time in my life, I played the entirety of Super Mario Brothers from start to finish without using warp pipes. So I've seen every level in that game. Really enjoyed it. I think it's great. Some of the middle levels get really difficult. Like, people who just use the warp pipes probably don't know how hard some of the ones in the middle get. I beat Super Mario Land on Game Boy, which is only like 12 levels long. It's extremely short, but I had a good time with it. I beat The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which has been sitting unfinished for about 15 years. And so I finally broke out the old Game Boy cart, and I finished that. I've been stuck on the last dungeon, and I was apparently just a moronic kid because I figured out what to do almost instantly.
We figured that out multiple times, that we're all stupid in terms of games as a kid.
It took me like 2 years to get off the first island in Kingdom Hearts.
There was just a crack in the wall that I never saw that I had to bomb, which is like the most basic Zelda thing of all time. Little kid, I just missed it. So I beat that game. Really loved how that one ends. One of my favorite Zelda endings now that I've seen it. Super Mario Land 2 was a huge improvement over the first Super Mario Land. The graphics were way better and the levels were way better. Rhythm Heaven Megamix, the game that rolled credits 4 times before you actually beat it. It kept faking me out.
So that's 4 games beat.
Woo! It is not. But really, really great game. I recommend that one a lot on 3DS. Ghost of Tsushima, love it. One of my favorites of the year. Crystal Chronicles Remastered. I progressed as far as I physically could in that disgusting train wreck of a remaster.
I will never take that one away from you. You beat that game.
The game beat you too.
So devastating. Yeah. Takeshi and Hiroshi, a really short indie game, which was underwhelming. It's about designing your own RPG for your little brother. It's not very good. Super Mario 64, had my problems with it, but it's still a classic. A lot of the levels still hold up. Kevin and I have talked about that one a lot on the show this year. WarioWare Gold, awesome game. I can't believe I hadn't played it until now. I love the WarioWare series. I've played almost every entry except for the one on GameCube. The original I never played, but this game takes almost all of the best micro games and puts them into one, and it's a phenomenal experience. My favorite part, I think I mentioned it, but it's worth mentioning again. There's touch games where you touch the touch screen. There's button games where you use the A button. And there's tilt games where you physically tilt your 3DS. And the best mode in the game is one where you don't know which style of game is coming. So you have to be ready with like the stylus in your hand and your finger on the button and you're ready to tilt at all times because you never know what's coming up next. And it's just wacky fun. And I think, well, I'll save that for next week. I think WarioWare is coming back soon. Astro's Playroom. Kevin's gotten to play it. Awesome use of the DualSense. That game's great. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Liked it. Didn't love it. Pikmin 3. Great. Played it on Wii U. That one's been on the list for a while. Sackboy Big Adventure. One of my biggest surprises of the year. Fantastic platformer. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Loved that game as well. Foxyland, which is a 2D platformer I picked up last year, and the main character's name is Foxy Fox. And when I was in elementary school, I had a book series about a fox named Foxy Fox, and I thought it was too weird that there was a game on Switch starring that character.
Yeah, but how did you figure out about the game?
I was just last December, of 2019, I just happened to be browsing the eShop, and it was new. It had just dropped, and I was like, oh, I should.
Did you read the description where it was like, join Foxy Fox in his journey?
Like, I'm buying it now.
Foxy Fox.
Yeah, and it was like $3.99 or something like that, but it was fine. I could tell it was a mobile game. I later looked up and confirmed it was on phones before it got ported to Switch, but it was fine. It wasn't bad by any means. Super Mario Sunshine, liked it more than I thought I would, but there is some jank. Donut County, I beat that since we last talked. I think, Kevin, you finished that last year?
Yeah, no, I beat it this year.
Oh, nice.
Good game.
Yeah, that game is really wacky. It's such a weird game.
Yeah, it is really weird. Playing it after Katamari, it's not as good as Katamari is, but it does have some stupid fun of just like once you get huge and just like dropping dudes into the hole. Like there's some really satisfying moments in that game.
There are. Yeah, I love just working out how to grow the donut in each level. and it's a story about raccoons, which is really random. It's just a weird game.
It's weird, yeah.
It's fun. It goes on sale for like $1, and it's like a 2-hour game. So
Very
you're not
consistently,
investing
yeah.
too much time or money. So I would recommend it. I thought it was good. Sayonara Wild Hearts. I just put it down halfway through, which is crazy because it's like a 90-minute game. And then
It's an
picked
album,
it up the other
basically.
day. Yeah. The music is great.
Best part.
The gameplay makes me long for a good 3D Sonic game with some of the stuff it does. It's just really cool. So yeah, I was a big fan of that game. That's 49. Number 50. My biggest disappointment of the year, Super Meat Boy Forever.
Man, in a year where you had Crystal Chronicles, it got outbeaten for disappointment. It's a little embarrassing to Meat Boy.
Yeah, I think it's partially my fault because I didn't super closely follow the development of this game. It started as a mobile game and eventually made its way to a console project, and it's a 2-button runner. With one button, you dive as Meat Boy, and with the other button, you jump. And that's pretty much all you do. If you can punch, jump, and dive, and that's it. And the levels are procedurally generated. They're curated levels made by the Meat Boy team, but they're in a different order each time, like the little screens that you encounter. And it's just frustrating. I love these brutally difficult platformers, but Meat Boy just runs on his own, and taking away the control of the character makes it feel like it's not nearly as skill-based as a game like that is. So instead, it's just like, it's almost like a puzzle game, just figuring out exactly when to hit the jump button, to make it over the spinning chainsaw, to make it through this tiny gap. And it's like, it just wasn't very good. It was brutally hard, but not in a fun way, not in the way that makes me like rack my brain to try and develop this strategy for each level like Super Meat Boy does, or like Celeste does. It was a really frustrating game. The final boss was by far the highlight. I really, really enjoyed how the final boss works, but Meat Boy in the original controls so well. Like, it is such a tight platformer. It's really fast. And Super Meat Boy Forever doesn't even feel like the same franchise. Like, it is so far removed from what makes the original great. But it was my 50th game, so hooray, I finished it.
Counts for something.
Yeah. And that is it. 50 games in a year. Didn't think it was possible. I'll never
gonna do it again. Nope.
No,
this year
absolutely.
had some circumstances that made it a little bit more possible.
Yes, and I found out my limit too, which is surprising given how fast I could beat a game.
What did you hit? What did you hit this year?
36 is where I came in.
Which is still pretty impressive.
It is. I played a lot of longer games. You know, Logan played a lot of games where he was almost at the end, or they only took an hour to beat. So it's not like an impressive list by any means.
That's rude.
But
wow.
Just kidding. It's a very impressive list. I could not do it. I'm sure if I try it again, I could do it, obviously. But I'm probably not
your
gonna try
job
it again,
and
so we'll never know.
That was the goal. That was the goal of my list. Was I have so many games, I am sitting at the finish line.
Yeah, exactly.
That I just need to take the final push. So
I don't have that. I have a hard time giving up on something, especially at the end. If I give up on something, it's probably at the beginning, and there's no chance of ever going back to it.
Rip Red Dead.
So I don't have a lot of those. Yeah.
Most of it was a lot of it was stuff from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, that I had to go back and pick back up. So I'm happy. The backlog is still massive.
Well, because every time you beat one game on the backlog, you get another at least like 2 to add on there.
Yeah.
You know? Just never ends.
Games don't stop coming out.
They don't. They really don't. Oh, well. You got something done.
It was a good year. I'm looking forward to some not being kind of tied down by this anymore. I feel like the last month I've been like, I need to finish something. So I've been hesitant to get into longer games. Like, I've been really wanting to play Yakuza 0 since you guys have been playing 7, but I'm like, I can't till January because I need to finish this. So I'm looking forward to having a more chill 2021 with some slightly amended goals.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Speaking of, Kevin.
Yeah, so let's hop into the O2 segment. So the ODs are technically over. That was last week. But we still have some housekeeping to do from not only 2020, but also looking forward to this year, 2021. So why don't we look back on those game goals? Now, Zach, I don't think he was here. He wasn't here to make these. But me and Logan, at the start of 2020, picked 3 games that we wanted to beat this year. And we've also picked 3 games that we want to beat for 2021. Now, Logan, you beat 50 games. were any of those the 3 games that you picked at the start?
No,
of
they were
2020?
not. They were not. So my story with these 3, it was Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, which we've talked about, got replaced by Mystery Dungeon DX because it was announced less than 2 weeks after I said on the show.
What is up with you in these games?
Magic.
I don't get it.
It's absolute magic.
Me neither.
It's ridiculous.
So that one, I'm fine that I didn't get around to finishing that one because I didn't want to play 2 of those games that close together. And then God of War, I tried. It's just not for me. I just don't think I'm ever going to finish that game. I'm not even pretending to put it on my list for this year. Yeah. It's not going to happen. And then Partners in Time, I grinded. I got updated gear. I didn't grind enough. I think the amount of coins I would have to get is in the thousands that I need to go grind and buy good enough gear to go beat this thing. So it's going to happen eventually, but I just didn't get around to it this year.
It's going to happen?
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to beat Partners in Time. Yeah.
Eventually. Then the next 10 years.
Yep. What were your 3, Kevin?
So I did pretty well. I beat all 3 of them. So my first one was Bowser's Inside Story. That was one that I was playing at the end of 2019, and I just wanted to make sure that I beat it because it was one from my childhood that I went back and restarted because I looked back at my old save, and I'm sure it was the same situation that Logan had where I put in a bunch of time and got absolutely nowhere. I was just like, what are you doing? So I went back, beat that game. The final boss in that was super cool. That game in general is really good, really fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Shame where that series went.
Yeah, well, into the garbage can because company that made it's bankrupt now and gone. So bad games, then they're gone. Astral Chain was another one that I wanted to get to, and while I do have some gripes with the story, the combat in that game is absolutely impeccable. I had a great time playing through that. Another solid Platinum Games title. And then last one was Star Fox. I think I picked that one just because I wanted to play it, but it was also super short. So like a month back, I was just like, I'll pick this up. And I just went through one route. You can go through different routes, and there's different missions to do. So maybe some point in the future I'll do that again. But I just wanted to put an easy game on there and pop through it in an afternoon. And it was a good time. Played it on the 3DS. So I'm glad I had that one on there. It's kind of like a gimme. If it was a longer game, I don't know if I would have done it. But I did beat the 3 games that I wanted to beat in 2020. Now, Zach, you weren't here for that. So why don't you start us off with your game goals for 2021 so that at the end of this year, you can actually participate?
Yes. Thank you for letting me participate.
Hey, you took like 3 months off from the show. That's
what do you want from me, man?
Be on the show all year this year.
All right. That's my new goal, is to be on the show all year. But I have made a last-minute change just now. No one saw it coming. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Are you serious?
Oh,
are you serious?
It's gonna happen.
Really?
It's going on the list.
I don't believe
and
that.
Since it's on the list, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
I put this game down. This game was a generous graduation gift from my good buddy, who will not be named, Logan Plant.
Wasn't Joseph St. Cloud?
I named him. Joseph St. Cloud. Well, we'll get to that.
Okay, man. Some foreshadowing.
But I put it down after 2 hours. I got spoiled on the ending, which was devastating for me.
Which sucks.
I know
that really sucks.
Yeah.
So it's a real demotivator when it comes to beating, especially a very long, story-heavy game. Mm-hmm. I had just come off of the first one. I really liked the first one. You know, weirdly enough, I knew the ending to the first one too, but I still went through it and played it.
Oh well. But
you know, I want to get back to Red Dead 2, if not only for the fact that I let Logan down by not playing it, and it was like an expensive game that had just come out. He got it for me. He expects me to play it. I didn't do it. I'm gonna do it. Red Dead 2. It's one of the games I feel the most guilty about. That's why it's on my list.
Okay.
Moving on. Days Gone. It's got to happen. It's going to be the first game I play on PS5. Just putting it on the list because I know it's a guaranteed.
We've got to follow through on the joke, you know?
Yes, and it's a meme now, so it has to persist throughout all of 2021.
Uh-huh.
And then the last one on my list is Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
I intend to play all of the 3D Marios this year in order, so I put this one on my list since I won't be able to play it unless I beat all of them. So realistically, it's like saying I'm going to beat all the Super Mario,
all
3D Marios.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a challenge. I'm gonna do it early on in the year because I got to buy the collection before March.
Before the end of March.
Please, yeah.
If I miss it, I will not be doing this.
Buy it before March. You have until the end of March. Buy it before then, please.
All right, we'll see where I'm at. We'll see how I feel. I might have to pick it up for $1,000 on eBay.
Oh my god.
Knowing Zach, that's probably the end game here. That's what's
But
gonna happen.
those are my 3. I'm pretty confident
Nice.
that I can beat all of those by the end of January. So
By the end of January.
we will find out.
By the end of January?
Yeah, so now that I have this goal, I can beat all the Mario's, Days Gone, and on PS5 and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yo,
by the end
buying a PS5 would be reason enough
Yeah.
for me to be impressed, let alone beating all these games.
All
by the
right,
end of the
let's
month.
say by the end of December then.
All right,
Just
good goal.
realistically.
Good goal.
Yep.
Logan, what you got? You gotta do better than last year.
I do,
Seriously.
with this challenge specifically. Yeah, so Yakuza 0 is one of them. That's going to be a January game for me. Right now I'm playing Immortals Phoenix Rising, which I didn't talk about at all. I'm only a couple hours into it, so I'm going to talk more about that next week. But after that, I'm going to dive into Yakuza 0, and then after I finish that, kind of reevaluate what I'm doing with the Yakuza franchise as a whole.
Yep.
But definitely get through 0. On Switch, Astral Chain, I am going to finish. I've had that game for a while now. Kevin loves it. My sister loves it. Well, Kevin really likes it. I don't know if he loves it, but my sister loves
really
it.
likes
And
Okay.
yeah, so I'm excited to dive into that one on Switch. And last minute change, because I remember the third one I want
Ooh, let's go.
is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Oh,
What a pick. I was not expecting that.
Zach and I are going to
we
play that
just
together.
decided to play it together because we were looking for an RPG with good online multiplayer. They're very difficult to find. Everyone loves this game. It's
yeah,
been
I've heard
recommended.
really good things.
It came out at the
Mhm.
end of 2017. It's been on my Steam wish list for I think 2 years now. I have never picked it up. It's only $20 on Amazon right now, so
Mhm.
it's our next game after we beat Monster Hunter. It's gonna carry us through to Rise.
Well, isn't that
and
game
then
pretty
we'll
long,
have
though?
to. It's like 50
Oh, I don't think
hours.
we're gonna
not-
finish
we're
it
not gonna,
before
We're not gonna
Rise,
beat it.
Yeah.
But we'll have it done by the end of the year.
Yep.
Okay.
So Divinity Original Sin 2. I'm looking forward to that one. And it's $60 digitally and $20 physically, and that kids at home is why you don't get a digital only console.
Yeah.
Yes,
they have the
it's
option.
$20 on sale off of $30. So even if it was full price physically, it'd still be $30.
Yep. That's why you
But
give
those are
yourself
my
the
picks.
option.
Yep.
All right. As for me, my first game is one that I just started, but considering it's the very end of the year when I started it, Spiritfarer, I thought I should put it on. I did the same thing with Bowser's Inside Story. I will finish that game. I love it so far. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, I've had that game on the shelf for a while. It came the same time as Yakuza, but of course, Yakuza takes precedent over that. And I kind of, Spiritfarer, it was nice to have on the side, but I kind of want to put most of my time into Sakuna when I do play it, whenever that is. That'll be after Yakuza and probably Spiritfarer. And then last one's another one that I bought this year, that came out this year, that I didn't have a chance to play yet. 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. I've heard the story in it is absolutely fantastic, and I want to get to it at some point. Fill out some of these games that I missed that came out this year that I didn't have time for.
I regret not picking that up on Black Friday. That was the only deal I considered. Yeah.
For Atlas games, you really never know, especially with, Persona obviously is fine, but with some of these other titles, you never know what's going to happen with them, if they'll stay cheaper. If they'll
Yeah,
go
especially
rare.
the more niche ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so 13 Sentinels, I've heard really good things about it, and I want to get a chance to play it next year. Who knows if I'll have the time with new games coming out, but we'll see.
Zach, you have like a list of games you want to beat.
Yeah,
You wanna go
I
through that
did.
real quick?
Do I want to what?
Go through it. Just share some of the other ones you had.
I would, but it's on my phone. I don't have it on hand.
Do you,
Okay.
Any highlights? Any extra ones that you want to add?
So I've segmented it by console. There's a couple PS4 ones I want to wrap up. Most of them are PS5. As soon as I get a PS5, I got a list of stuff I want to cover, and then a lot of Switch ones. We've got all the 3D Mario's, Days Gone, Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition. Finish up Yakuza Like a Dragon. It Takes Two with Logan. What
Shadow
else
of
we
the
got on
Colossus?
there? Shadow of the Colossus. I want to replay that. I didn't get to it this year for a replay, so I want to replay that. I was thinking about it recently. What else? Final Fantasy IX was what Red Dead 2 replaced on the list of games I wanted to beat. I still want to throw it up there because now that we've started this thing with Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy has probably been the one I've wanted to play the most since starting this. So I really want to try and delve into that. It's a longer JRPG, so I don't know when I'll get to that. Astro's Playroom, definitely as soon as I get a PS5, just to try, delve into the controller haptics and stuff like that I haven't had the chance to experience yet. You guys talk very highly about that, so that and Easy Platinum.
Just gotta take advantage.
Yeah, and then Monster Hunter Rise, obviously. Spiritfarer, definitely. That game looks so good. I know Kevin's enjoying it for what little he's played. Yeah, exactly. I need more of that. And those are some of the highlights. Maybe a couple more unexpected replays, stuff that comes out. God of War 2, I don't expect it to come out. It's slotted to come out. I don't expect it. I think it'll be pushed. Definitely. It seems just way too soon, in my opinion. Cyberpunk 2077, gonna play that when a dedicated PS5 version.
Yeah.
There's a lot on there.
Yeah, so I don't know what gave me the urge to plan it out. Just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. I wanted a more structured, because this year was pretty loosey-goosey in terms of what games I played when. So I want something a little more consistent. And so it's easier to have something to talk about on the show. We're now like 6 weeks of Yakuza, but no offense, Kevin.
Sorry. Getting through it. And the grind
I love
is a little
hearing
brutal.
about it. Yeah. I know, we've hit a wall at this point, so expect a few more weeks of Yakuza. But yeah, I'm excited. 2021 is going to be quite the year for
the year
games.
PS5,
I'm very
hopefully,
excited.
for both of us.
Yes, exactly. I hope to get one.
2021.
I hope to get one by May. That's the plan right now.
Deathloop?
Deathloop, I think, is the jumping on point for me to where
Then add
I'll
Godfall
have
to your
enough.
list of games you're going to play this year.
Play, yes, true, yeah. I don't know if there's a list of games I want to beat or list of games I want to play.
That's true.
Does Godfall even have a story?
Yeah, it's got a
All
campaign.
right, we'll throw it on there.
There's some
Knock off
words
Monster
said in
Hunter.
there, probably.
Oh, Divinity Original Sin 2. No, I haven't added that to my list, but that's got to go up there. Far Cry 6, No More Heroes 3.
There's a lot.
Far Cry 6 our way.
It just doesn't end. It just doesn't end, really.
It doesn't. It never does.
I could keep listing off games. The amount. We'll check back in a year and see how I did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll be in this spot next year, and we'll be going over.
A lot of the games I chose are not short games, so
Yeah.
I don't expect to get to everything, but I've put and there could be some surprise releases. Golf Story 2. I don't know if that's coming out. Rolled out maybe.
That'd be wild. Yeah, they're like Sports Story. Hey, sorry for the delay. Here's Golf Story 2.
I don't know why I called it Golf Story 2.
So thrilled.
It was called Golf or Sports
I would
Story.
be thrilled with that because it'd mean 3 games instead of 2.
That'd be exciting. Yeah, so there could be some surprise releases. Breath of
That
the Wild
Monkey
2,
Ball game
maybe.
that's in
That
the
is.
Twilight Zone right now.
Exactly. So you never know. Basic plans laid out. But I'm just excited. Do you guys have any big plans for 2021 gaming wise? Kevin's
Well, I
gonna
mean,
buy a PS5.
PlayStation. A PS5 would be the biggest
goal.
one, because then once you get the PS5, then you've got all the games that have come out that you still need to get to, and then of course there'll be new games coming out to PS5. So once the PS5 is acquired, then that'll be just a domino effect of all the other games that I want to play on PS5. So that's probably the biggest thing for me this year.
Oh,
along with
and
these other games that I want to play.
Forbidden West too. With Logan and I are gonna play that together.
I plan not to play that on PS4.
No, bad idea. Don't play.
Man,
it on
after
PS4.
everything that happened with Cyberpunk, I am not playing any game like that on PS4.
Honestly, we're going to talk more about anticipated games next week, I think. But I am currently staring down Super Mario 3D World, which I am so excited to play.
Yeah.
But when it comes out in a couple
playing
weeks.
that
Playing that.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is that February?
Oh man.
Yep, February 12th.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat that game 3 times this year.
With different people.
I'm going to play it with my sister, who I played with originally, and my girlfriend as one save file, and then I'm going to play it with you guys, and I'm probably going to play it on my own. So I love that game so much. I can't wait to jump back into it.
Looking forward to finally playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
right.
I'll be done with all of them by then. But you never know.
by the start of February. Or are you waiting until you got to get through Galaxy 2? If you're playing them all in order, you got to get through Galaxy 2 by the time that comes out. And then play that, and then get to Odyssey, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. And 3D
So I have
Land.
to-
Don't forget 3D Land in the middle
yeah,
there.
you're gonna crack out the 3D.
All right, you know what? It'll just be somewhere in the middle. I'll probably be partway through 64, if we're being honest.
Yeah, you'll get through all the easy fun stuff and then just get to the brutal
And then just give
rumbles.
up.
Yeah.
Feel like this isn't for me.
Oh, good fun. All right. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up? 2021 has officially started. What final thoughts on
Yeah,
this
I feel
episode?
like we have a big 2021 show coming next week, right? Most anticipated games, new predictions, going over our old predictions.
Yep.
Gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
2021 is the year of Ode to Games. Big
will
things
be.
happening.
It will be.
Get
Yeah.
excited.
Planning on that. That's the prediction.
It's probably not going to happen. We're bad at predictions.
All right. But that is going to do it for us in this week's episode of Ode to Games. First episode of 2021. Look forward to next week where we still have some more housekeeping things, some reviews of 2020 as well as predictions for the year of 2021. We are here on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on our website, odegames.com. The video version of the podcast is up every week on our YouTube page, Ode to Games. You can find it there as well. We're on Twitch at Ode to Games. We're on Twitter, Ode to Games as well. You can send an email to odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.